Okay, coffee time, 9:24 a.m. here making my forecast video for you today. Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Right up here in Wells, BC, 3,953 feet above sea level. I am your crazy wilderness wacko out here in Wells. That's right. Okay, on the show today, well, we had this big low churning off the coast there, off the coast of Washington State, more or less, there for the last bunch of days. And it's going to kind of move inland today, but as it does, it's going to shovel up. Well, it's been shoveling warm air into BC, but now it's going to shovel up some instability, which could make some thunderstorms and some lightning in southern BC. Woo! That's going to combine with, it's like a tropical storm. It was kind of a hurricane, but it's not, and it's going to, the tropical storm's down by Baja, and it's going to cross over to Colorado, and that's going to make Colorado low. It's going to combine with this low, and then that's going to go into Manitoba and make all hell happen. I don't know what I should do today. Like, how there's so much to talk about. I mean, we made the video last night here in the channel. We talked about it for like 2 hours on the podcast. So, I mean, there's stuff on my channel already on this topic. I've made 3 videos on this storm that's coming this weekend. So it's not like I haven't told you so. Okay, let's go. There it is. This is bad news.
My God. Falling out right now.
Anything could happen. Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. Subscribe, like, share if you dare, if you care. Joey Only right here. Thanks to the person who gave the tip, a $50 tip on my bear video. Very much appreciate you for doing that. You have changed my Thanksgiving budget, which isn't very big. But now I'm getting the pie, kids. So good news for the kids today. We're getting the pie. I got expanded my budget. So become a channel member if you want to keep feeding Joey pie. Okay, so Mark Engels made a post. He's talking about the cool down coming down. Now, this weekend, maybe Sunday, Monday, we're going to have the temperature drop right off it's going to drop right off the edge of the cliff, man. Tumble on down, frost in many places in southern BC. In fact, southern BC at risk of snowfall, especially in the mountain pass. It's really going to be a mountain pass event. Not a great deal of snow, but just enough if you're traveling through at the wrong possible time and you catch it. Make sure you're aware of the conditions on the Coquihalla and places like that if you're traveling this weekend. But here's this jackass. Cool down. What happened to global warming? This is why I don't watch the news. It's all meant to create panic. And Mark says, winter will still be colder than summer in all climate change scenarios. Ouch. Here's another one. An interesting use of color on the map, wouldn't you say? Alarmists love to use red on weather maps, even when it pertains to cold, which is usually signified by blue. Joe Goebbels is snickering from the grave. What kind of fucking maniacs are these? Mark Hill. I don't make the map, I just use it. But if you're afraid of red in a data visualization, then I suppose there's not much I can say other than to suggest visiting a therapist to overcome the hardship you experience. And here's this guy again. A cool down in October? Shocking. It was regularly over 100 Fahrenheit in Phoenix 10 days ago. Next week's high will be in the low 80s. Completely normal, says this guy to a meteorologist. What about this post implies this is uncommon? And they're really on Mark Engels today. Don't try to instill too much fear there with your shady red, Mr. Meteorologist, dude. I thought red always depicted heat and temperature on the side of the fence. We're kind of done with your propaganda. Tell me you can't read a map legend without telling me you can't read a map legend, jackass. Oh, and here's this Bri fucking loser. This guy, he fucking trolls me every day. You're another Timu weather guy like Joey Lonely. Okay, Bri. Like, does that make you feel better? Anyways, here's some forecasting for the rest of you normal humans. Holy fuck, there's red on a map right here. Oh no, there's some red. These people are so whack. Like, they're so full of themselves, so full of bullshit, not full of any information or knowledge whatsoever. And what they're going to do is crap on everybody who has some information or some knowledge, some expertise that they don't have. Down here, one tropical storm. That's going to be, as you can see, its track is heading right towards Manitoba. Just watch. That high is going to block it and put it into Saskatchewan, Manitoba. Down here, off the Baja is another. That's Jerry. No, that's not Hurricane Jerry. What's that one? That's Raymond. Jerry's over here. That's Hurricane Jerry over there. One of these ones. And Hurricane Karen is starting to form as well out there. We'll talk about Hurricane Karen in another episode. Hurricane Karen. So there's a big low off the BC coast. Like, what does that even mean, a Timu weather forecast? Like, I honestly don't know. I'm too redneck to understand. I don't even know what fucking Timu is. I honestly don't know what it is. So enlighten me if I'm a Timu weather forecaster or not. Guys like that, they've never done anything good for anybody else in their entire life. They basically just these selfish, ignorant hillbilly pigs that like to just poke at everybody and laugh at everybody else. They don't want to understand anything. They don't want to have any knowledge or or encourage any discussion that's fruitful. Look at that. Thunderstorm cells popping over the trail there by noonish onto the BC side of the border. Nothing too crazy there. Crossing over, maybe some lower mainland, catch a few thunder showers, couple bolts of lightning in there, couple rumbles of thunder. Oh, it gets a little bit organized around 5 p.m. Probably the height of the show there, coming through Tulameen there, maybe areas to the west of Princeton. You're looking at some thunderstorm lightning activity there, moving on through. Ooh, does it even last into the evening? It might, just because we got this low, so we just were looking at that low off the coast, and it's trying to squeeze on through. And then what's also happening is our tropical storm's trying to come on through, and these two are going to combine more or less and create a superstorm in Western Canada. That's going to go on this weekend. If you got travel plans this weekend, you got to be completely aware. Unless you're Bri, I don't fucking care if you drive into the ditch or not. Dumbass. Like, whatever. Okay, Kamloops, Salmon Arm, Vernon. You might get a few shots of lightning in there too. Salmon Arm, couple shots into the evening. Yeah, and the cusp, couple shots. So we got some thunderstorms rolling on through. Could be some of the last thunderstorms of BC this year. Don't be too surprised if that's the case. And then things are going to get extra wacky. Let's reverse. Back to 4 p.m., looking at some of the rainfall on the coast there. A little bit of thunder showers moving into the Caribbean. Maybe have one good cohesive segment of storms there, one line moving on through. And what that will look like sometime later in the day. Probably go through areas between Kelowna and Kamloops and whatnot. Not looking like we're going to see much of that in the Caribou. Staying pretty clear in the Caribou. Staying pretty clear in the Chilcoot and this southern BC. Most of the weather that we're talking about this weekend that's going to be problematic is southern BC based. So good for you. You got place to travel this weekend. Number one, I maybe oversold how much snow I thought was going to come into the piece. And that's what's going on with this modeling right now, is that no one's exactly accurate. Every forecaster is inaccurate for a different reason. Mine was, I said that the piece should take its first pretty good snow. It looks more and more like that's going to slide on down the mountains, and we're really going to get more of a Rocky Mountain event as it goes further south. I think Calgary could see some snow. Foothills could see 10 to 20 centimeters for sure. Southern BC, southeastern BC, this rain will kind of make its way on through, but the cold is coming down. You can see the cold front moving on down through. You can see the temperature difference, 4 in Fort St. John, 10 in Vernon at 3 in the afternoon, just to give you an idea of that cold front, how it's moving on through. We'll click right here and look at the cold front. Boom, you can see the temperature variation. You can see nice and warm in the Caribou still at that time, but not far away, the temperature change. But, it's not even about us. It's about that this big low that's going on through is eating a lot of warmth. And that's what we've been kind of experiencing the last few days, is this warm sector of the low. But as it moves off into Saskatchewan, Manitoba, they're going to see a big spike in temperature on Saturday. Very, very lovely weekend at first, but then the door gets closed with some real absolute shit. There's going to be some crazy wind events on the prairies this weekend. We're going to see some snow on the backside. Going to see some heavy rainfalls. This storm system is a go. It is a go. And look at this, 987 central low pressure. We've seen models show it go down to 984. It's taking a little bit more of a little bit more high northern than I thought. I kind of expected to see a couple hundred kilometers south of there. So there's a couple forecast changes, couple adjustments, but more or less we're seeing the storm as we expect. It's kind of a continent-wide thing, like right from Texas to the Arctic Ocean. This trough will have elements that everybody will experience. Right? So it's almost split into two storms at this point. But to me, it's still one big trough with two storms, sort of low pressure areas within it. So BC Sunday, yeah, you're looking at some flurries in the Rockies. That's going to move into southern BC. If you're going to the Duffy on Sunday, I'm concerned about you if you don't have winter tires on. Going to see big wind into Winnipeg, heavy thunderstorms, heavy rain in northern Manitoba, snow in the foothills still, some flurries in the high country, maybe the Okanagan connector. I think the more you're in southeastern BC, the stronger that'll be. We're going to pause here for a second because there's too much going on. You can see how heavy the rainfall is in Manitoba. You can see how heavy the wind is in the back of the Inner Lakes region on Sunday. Going to see some major and extreme winds. There's really too much going on to just cover in one forecast video. I'm doing my best here. As you can see, southern BC taking some pretty heavy snow in the higher mountains there. So be aware, Sunday is a day for sure, travel-wise, in BC, where I expect to see some pretty slick roads at times. So here we are looking at the wind projections for Manitoba still on Sunday, and there's some high values that have been showing up at times in this. So we're kind of waiting to see what it's going to really look like. But it's possible that we get some of these wind gusts that are over 100 kilometers an hour overnight on Sunday. So whether people are eating their turkey dinners in the dark or not, no, maybe you'll get lucky and that'll happen after your turkey dinner, but you're really looking at a possibility of overnight power outages in Manitoba. 130 kilometer an hour winds possible. I mean, possible. So maybe see some strong winds on the BC coast. Yeah, nothing. Who cares? 124, 130 kilometer an hour winds in Manitoba this weekend. Big time precipitation. Big time. So it's really a system that's going to cause a lot of dusting of snow on roads, cause a lot of rain, cause a lot of heavy wind, cause some power outages and whatnot. It's a big story. We're going to do our best to keep covering it this weekend. I think this it'll really start showing its face as today the low starts to move in off the coast and we start to see that thunderstorm activity pick up in BC. And then by the time Monday comes, hopefully this snow will have petered out for us and you can kind of start your work week with fresh weather and improving conditions into next week. But yeah, big time cool down, as you can see, still Tuesday overnight. On Sunday, as this weather comes in behind, chasing down below the trough, we're going to see some cooler temperatures in behind. Maybe even up in the mountains, some pretty bitter cold temperatures for early in the season, the higher you're up in the elevation, as that low departs and has dropped the temperatures down across the board. But hey, look, a little bit of a rebound at least next week. You can see some warmth on the coast there. That's good news. A little bit of a rebound next week. Yeah, I mean, nothing... it's not like warm or hot, but I mean, it's October, so what did you expect? Seeing reds and oranges on the maps in October is kind of surprising as it is. Not that it never happens. I know that was an awful lot to throw at you. I hope that was enough. I hope you caught some of that at least. I'll try to give more for you tonight or tomorrow morning here on the channel. It is Friday, so it is the day I drive to town and go get my kids. And thanks to one viewer today, I'll spend a little bit extra on our Thanksgiving dinners. Yeah, I love poverty. It's awesome. But hey, I also love being your weatherman, so I'm just going to keep doing this as long as I can. And yeah, okay. Have a good weekend. Happy Thanksgiving.